Hey everybody, I'm Stacy here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com, and this is our next Saturday with Stacy YouTube class number 474. Welcome. Hello everybody. And if you're joining me at 8 a.m. sunny California time on Saturdays, that would be 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern, or 4 p.m. in the United Kingdom, we are live chatting right now. Hey everybody, how are y'all doing? It's cold here in sunny California. If our temperatures drop below 60 degrees, we think that's reason to pull out all of our winter clothes, which are like 3 things in our wardrobe. But obviously, if it's below 60, it's like a snow day here. What do we do with ourselves? So hopefully everything is beautiful wherever you are and the weather is just amazing, or perhaps the leaves are starting to change and snow is beginning to fall. Now, what do we have? Crafter's Companion. Crafter's Companion is here for you today. I have got a brand new launch. This is a first to market on some dies from the Crafter's Companion. And then I'm bringing in embossing folders that you may have seen somewhere else, but we're going to show them to you again and hopefully maybe expand upon them just a little bit more, because where they were, they only get this much time to show them. I take as much time as I would like, but where they are currently at, which is HSN, they only give you this, they give you this much time to show them off. So I'm hoping that I'm able to do justice to these embossing folders, all while keeping the pricing so super affordable. But I do want to let you know that the embossing folders I am working with today are currently available at HSN. Will our pricing be comparable? Yes. In fact, it might even be just a wee bit better. But but if you are an HSN shopper, absolutely you can find them there. And if you're an SMS shopper, you can find them here. I want to let you know the warehouse sale. Well, we got set back quite a bit with most of our, with half our staff being out for 2 weeks. So I know that they are wrapping up. I think the last cart from day 1 is shipping today. That means all day ones have shipped. We went 2 weeks without being able to ship much. It was really hard. We got hit, but that's okay. We're better now. We're still down 2 people, but we're rolling through it. And day 2 has been started. I know that day 3, I believe day 3 and day 4 have been invoiced. So if you've got an order from the 22nd, 23rd, maybe just the 24th has been invoiced, and it's from the warehouse sale where you got amazing values for like this much money and you had to pay later, just know that those invoices are due now. Once we get past day 2 has about 1/3 of the orders of day 1. And then day 3, 4, 5, and 6 are substantially smaller, to where I think we may be able to do day 3, 4, and 5 all together in one clump and get those out. Will we be able to have another warehouse sale this year? I'm not sure. I made the commitment that we would not start another warehouse sale until this one was completely shipped out. I didn't know we were going to have life happen and have half our staff out for about 2 weeks, but you roll with the punches and that's the way it is. So we are doing our best to get caught up on everything. We're going to try and stay current and caught up, because really it was Mr. SMS shipping and SMS guy Michael Jr. shipping, I was shipping, and Elena was shipping. So now that we've got a few more people back, I'm hoping that we're able to get ourselves caught right back up and be where we were. So I'll keep you updated on whether I'm able to get another warehouse sale done this year or not. I just need all these orders from this warehouse sale to go, and then we'll have a talk and decide if we want to do it late this year or maybe early next year. I just don't see it happening in the month of November at all. I need to finish what we started. All right, I have winter chicken dinner for you, and oh my gosh, these 2 lucky peeps have got a $25 gift card in their online account ready to spend, and that $25, well, $25 always goes a long way here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, let's be clear, but my gosh, those 3D embossing folders are a swoon, and your $25, you might be able to get them. Oh, all right. Our first winner is Judy. Judy Bishop. Hello, Judy Bishop. How are you doing today? Wahoo Kachoo for you. Do you see a check mark? Yep. Your 25 bucks is already in your online account. Congratulations. So excited for you. Our second winner is Ellen Herman. Hello, Ellen Herman with 2 R's and 2 N's. How are you? And 2 L's. Hello, Ellen. Oh, check marks there. Your $25 is already in your online account already. And gosh, I hope you guys find something that makes your heart happy, something that maybe you've always wanted to try, maybe something you couldn't justify buying. Now you've got a little bit of extra money to go get it. All right, so how do you be a winner chicken dinner? It's super simple. First, you have to subscribe to our channel. There's a little heart over here that says SMS in it. Just click that and subscribe. We appreciate every one of our subscribers. Thank you. And then you leave a comment below. You can't leave a comment during live chat. Live chat comments don't count. So if you're joining me on Saturday mornings and you see the live chat going, you can put a comment there, but it isn't going to count. You do have to post one below. And then SMS guy James, he will approve it, and then you're in the running for a winner chicken dinner prize. You will not see your comment right away. James does have to go through and approve them and filter some of them, because some of them, well, are not approvable. You should also know that SMS guy James has taken over the responsibilities of answering emails. So he's taken on that responsibility and he is learning. I'm training him. And if you get something back, he actually has changed it's no longer, the email was from SMS Girls, now it's SMS Crew, and he put his signature in, SMS Guy James. So be patient, be understanding. He is learning how to do this. He's never done it before, and I think he's doing a bang-up job. And yes, I'm his mom, but I still think he's doing a bang-up job. And Michael Jr. has shipped like nothing. Michael Jr. has just absolutely pushed out as many orders as he can. He's doing a great job too. So hang with us. We're just gonna keep on going. Again, we're still down 2 people, and I think that might be a permanent thing. We might need to find some new SMS peeps. I'm not 100% sure yet. We're gonna just wait and see how things go. So our winner, Judy, and our winner, Ellen. I bet you never thought that you would see your names. Here they are. Grab your fur babies, grab your spouses, grab your kids, grab your grandkids. Stand up and do the winner chicken dinner dance. You're a winner, chicken dinner. You're a winner, chicken dinner. Wahoo, kachoo for you. So congratulations to the both of you. And hopefully, if you haven't seen your name yet, you just never know what I'm going to call it. You just never know when the week is going to be your week, right? Right. So this week, again, I've got Crafter's Companion. I've got new product from them, really new product, like you've never seen this product before. And I have some product that is currently available, like I said, at HSN. HSN has it at an amazing price. We're going to have it at an amazing price. And we're going to have product that isn't there at all. The dies that I've got, you can't get at HSN. So again, if you are more comfortable shopping at HSN, then I encourage you to buy those embossing folders there. If you are an SMS shopper, we're gonna make it worth your while. We are trying to get back up to expedited shipping, so we are printing out orders and filling and shipping expedited orders as quickly as possible. If you want your order to expedite faster, expedited doesn't mean that you pay more to get it shipped faster. It means that you only order items from this one category, the YouTube Yummy sale. You only order items from this one category. You pay for it at the time of checkout, or you do a pay later and then call us next week before Friday and pay for your order, and then we pull it and try to get it to you as fast as we possibly can. We're doing pretty okay. We're just a little bit behind, but not too much. But now that we've got 2.5 shippers back, we're excited. And the half is kind of a new hire, and he's just working out great. He's just amazing. He's the son of one of our customers, and we're just so thrilled. we're thrilled that he's here. I really wanted him to come work here. I did. And finally he walked in and I'm like, you, yay. All right, you guys, so I'm gonna tilt down. We're gonna get started. I'm gonna show you some samples for today. I hope everybody's having a great day. Are we gonna have a Black Friday sale? Yes, we are. Is it going to be a ships when it ships? I don't know yet. No, I don't think so. It's gonna be very limited in product, very limited, just a few items. And I think they're gonna be pre-bundled and ready to go. So we may do it as part of an expedite order. I'll let you know the closer we get, but yes, there'll be something Black Friday here. I know a lot of you have been asking, but it's about, it really only includes 2 manufacturers and some amazing deals. So, all right, I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna tilt down. We're gonna start today and it's good to see everybody. Hello. All right, down we go, bye. I'm gonna start with some samples just to give you an idea what we're working with today. Down a little bit more, in a little bit more. I never can tell. You'd think after all these years I'd know, but I don't. All right, so let's see what I've got for you. Ooh, look at how beautiful is that. That's the embossing folder. And this is the die. It says with thanks in that scripty handwritten font. And then I have got birthday wishes. And again, that embossing folder, it's a 3D embossing folder and it is beautiful. And my last one is incorporating some black paper and their font. Look at, isn't that lovely? Right? Lovely. So I am going to put these over there and we're going to get started for today. And that's where I think I'm going to start, is with the embossing folders. So there are 5 different embossing folders. They are all 3D embossing folders. They are all 6x6 embossing folder, or 5.5 by 5.5. And they are from the Crafter's Companion. Again, you can see these on HSN right now. I believe that they are doing them for, I believe you get all 5 for $24.95. I think that's what it is. Will we be able to match that price? Well, I think we are going to be able to match that price, but I also think we're going to be able to offer you something that they don't have in conjunction. So I just wanted to show you they're just beautiful. So I'm going to take this one and we're going to start. What's an embossing folder? An embossing folder is a molded piece of plastic. It's a molded piece of plastic that then when you close it, it has a side that's raised and a side that is divoted. And when you put a piece of paper in and you smush it together and you send it through your die cutting machine, it makes an impression. So I'm going to start just with thinking, just with people who may not have ever seen an embossing folder before, and get, just so they can see what it is and how it works. I think I might just leave that there. So I'm going to bring over my machine, and I'm using a Sizzix Big Shot machine today. Sizzix Big Shot machine. We do have the switch machine, the sorbet machine, and we had about 20 black machines left. The black machines from Tim Holtz are on sale for $199, and the sorbets I think are $254.99 or $259.99. This is a manual crank machine, which means I have to roll it through. And because it's a 3D embossing folder, it's thicker than a standard embossing folder. When you get your machine, you're going to get a platform, and that platform is going to show you what you need to do embossing folders. But 3D embossing folders are a little different. They're thicker than a 2D, 2D embossing folder. They're a thicker embossing folder, so you need less platforms to make the height, your sandwich the same height to hit the roller. There's a roller under here that's going to add pressure as I send it through, forcing either the die cut or the embossing. It's going to force that pressure to cut or emboss. So a 3D embossing folder, a little bit thicker, so I don't use the exact same sandwich. On the Gemini embossing folders, I found the best sandwich to be your base plate, your solo shim, no clear plate down, and then just a top plate. So you're only using one top plate, one clear plate, or a do not cut plate, and you're going to send it through. Now, what I want you to pay attention to is where the word Gemini is. Usually to me, that means it's the front. It's usually what it means. Let's see if it sends it through and that's what I get. Let's see what we get. And roll, roll, roll. It's a pretty easy roll. You don't have to go backwards and forwards. That's not going to help you any. You could mist your paper a little bit if you wanted, if you thought that was going to give you a better impression. Okay, so I've got my folder and I've sent it through with the Gemini facing the top. Then when I pull it out, I'm like, I'm not so sure. Is that the side I want? Because this is almost a debossed side. Almost a debossed side. But if I flip it around, now I've got the embossed side. So to me, in my opinion, the Gemini is put on the wrong side. Typically in the industry, the word is on the top. So if I had a patterned paper, I don't know that I have a little pin here, but if I had a pretty patterned paper, I don't even know. Okay, that's my patterned paper. Typically, I would put that patterned paper face up. So that's what I would want to see when I'm rolling it through. With the Gemini, I almost think that it's backwards because to me, this looks like the front and this looks like the back. But this is the impression you get if you do it face up. Like, I'm not so sure about that. So I think I'm gonna run this through one more time just so I can ink them, because I think if I ink them, you'll get a better feel for what I'm saying. Let me send it on through. I think you'll get a better feel for what I'm saying. If we have apples to apples, it's always important, apples to apples. So again, my Gemini face up, put my paper in, and let's send it on through. So I've got my base plate, I've got my solo shim, I've got my embossing folder, Gemini face up, and then a clear plate over the top. Now maybe Gemini, because we haven't done a lot with the Crafter's Companion, maybe they say that their name goes on the back side, kind of like the label in your shirt or the label in your pants. It goes on the back. I don't know. I'm so used to Sizzix and others having it right on the front that it kind of I didn't understand it. So I'm going to put this one right there, and I'm going to grab some ink, because now I've got 2 peas in a pod. This is with Gemini facing up and Gemini facing, probably spelled that wrong, but down. And let's ink them, because there's going to be a dramatic difference. Now, I have got the last 4 colors of our Hero Hues ink cubes for 2023. We have an exclusive on these. The cubes where we sell them just in the cubes. We've got exclusive colors. We've done them, here's the Q4 colors. We've done them throughout the year where we've brought in, released new colors every quarter. And this would be the last quarter. So I think that we started with 24 and we added 16. So that gives us a total of 40 colors, I think. And these are the last 4 colors. For this YouTube, they're only going to be sold in the bundle. A little bit later on, well, probably in December, we'll open them up to open stock. But right now, they're going to be sold in the bundle only. And again, these are colors that I picked to do for 2022. So I think I'm just going to grab my little brush, and I think I'm going to start with the caramel. And I'm going to do them both at the same time. In fact, I can maybe even do them facing you both at the same time. Wish me luck. So I've got a little bit of the caramel, which is kind of a very warm yellow. Lovely warm yellow. And I've got my blending brush from Aussie Andrew, and I'm tapping it off because I don't want it to be too much color, but I want to get rid of a little bit of this white. I don't want it to be so stark. So I'm using this yellow as an undertone on my color, just so my white isn't so bright white. I want it a little bit warmer. And I'm not going hard, which is why I'm tapping off. Maybe I go back just a little bit. Zoop. So I'm tapping off. That way I'm leaving behind more color than I'm actually using. But I've got that beautiful caramel warm color going on. All right, there's one. And now you can kind of see the embossing coming up a little bit better. And now let's do the Gemini facing up, which to me is more of a debossed side. So instead of the image coming up and out of my paper, it's divoted down into my paper. And there is no right and there is no wrong. It just depends upon which one you like better for the project that you're doing. Remember, paper does have 2 sides. So sometimes the back side is better than the front side. At our retail store, because we're a mom and pop shop and we do have a retail store here in Canyon Country, California. We're in the Taco Bell Plaza. In fact, if I look out the window, I can see Taco Bell. We're a little retail store here. Look at, so I don't know if you can tell the difference. Can you see? But if you are local, you are welcome to come on in and check out what we've got going on here. We're open Monday through Friday right now. We don't have staff for the weekends. So I've got my yellow going on, and then I think I'm going to go into my pinks. And the deboss side, again, it's divoted down into where the emboss side is raised up. But the emboss side was with the Gemini facing down. It was just different for me. Let's see a little bit of pink. So now I want to come in and hit it with that pink. The girls loved playing with these, making the samples. They did beautiful samples. And that 3D embossing is a lovely, lovely image. And the price on these is so affordable. I want to say that it's well, I don't know for sure. I just know we've got a smoking hot price. I don't know if it's with the bundle, the black paper I have for you. I have to go look and see what we did. But the price is amazing. Like $5 an embossing folder. So look at how beautiful is that coming up. And you can add your color. I'm tapping off. You can add your color as dark as you want. You can go as heavy as you want. It's all up to you. There's no rules. There's no right. There's no wrong. You can get those edges kind of really dark. And now I could come back with my yellow just a little bit, just my caramel just a little bit, just to kind of cement the color down. I just kind of blend it all over, just because I don't want so much white. I want it lovely and soft and pretty. And that's what I was able to achieve there. Now we've got my, what I think is a debossed side. And I might get a call from Crafters or Crafters Companion going, yes, we tell people all the time that's the side with the logo is the back side. Okay. I didn't know. And I don't want you to be surprised, but paper has two sides. In fact, like I said, we were saying, in our retail store, when we get paper in two-sided paper, we often we'll fold a corner of the paper over so that the top sheet shows the back side of paper. Because sometimes the back side is better than the front side, and unless you pick it up and turn it over, you never see it. So we sacrifice, a piece of paper and do one corner and tape it down so that you can see what the back side looks like and you don't have to pick it up. And then when we're almost out of that paper, that's the only sheet left and somebody else has picked up a few sheets of it underneath, we give them the last sheet for free because, well, it's got a fold in it. So this is a little different. It's not better. It's not worse. It's different. And I think that that's important, that you know there's no right and there's no wrong. It just depends upon what it is you're trying to achieve. A little bit of caramel. Okay. So this one, all the petals are kind of debossed in. It's divoted in there. And this one, everything is raised up. I'm not sure which one you like better. You have options. You can do both. Maybe this is the intent. Very well could be. And maybe this is the back side, but usually the embossed side is the top. But who am I to question Crafter's Companion? They're a company far smarter than me. Who am I to question? I'm just to craft. To question or to not question doesn't make a difference. I'm just to craft. So you decide. Embossed, debossed. I just want you to know that when you're doing it, understand that if this is what you want, where all of the dimension is pushed up, if that's what you want, then if you're taking a pretty piece of pattern paper or a double-sided cardstock or whatever you're doing, you would not have it this way. If you have your name face up, that pretty piece that you want to see on your card would have to be this way, because that is going to give you this. If I do it this way, that is going to give you that. No right, no wrong. I just don't want you to waste beautiful, pretty pattern paper to find out that you embossed the wrong side. So now if I cut these out, you're saying, well, that's pretty big. That's a 5.5 by 5.5. And square cards cost more to ship in the US. They do. It's the truth. So there's one. No, well, I missed the trash on that by a big time. No question about it. And here's two. Square cards cost more to ship in the US. I don't think they cost more to ship in Europe, but here in the US they do. So you're thinking, well, why did they make them 5 by 5.5 or 5.5 by 5.5? Well, because they're a global company and they want to make everybody happy worldwide. So do you have to keep them this size? No, absolutely not. I could very simply cut that down, and now I've got an A2. You don't have to keep it the big size. I could cut it down more. Absolutely. It's up to you. I could make it an A6. I could panel it and do it in 3s and panel it. Up to you. But don't feel that just because it's a big design, you can't cut it and use it for something a little smaller, more US size. Sure you can. Easy peasy mac and cheesy. All right, so let's take another one because that's an easy way to color them. You saw that, easy peasy. And let's, this one's very pretty. Let's do this one. I'm gonna put these here and not lose them. Let's do this one. Isn't that beautiful? And this one, I'm going to ink my embossing folder up. So let's see if I've got a piece of paper that looks pretty, that's pretty close for what we're doing. I suppose that'll work. Close enough, right? Works for me. So this time I'm going to ink up an embossing folder. And I am a big believer in inking more than one side. So just like paper, embossing folders have two sides. I just showed you what two different sides will do. So if I'm going to run this through my Big Shot machine or my die cutting machine, I might as well ink it up both sides. So I may start with maybe a little of my, maybe a little bit of my caramel there and a little bit of caramel over here. And I might throw a little bit of my pine, just a little bit, not very much, just a little bit maybe in there. Just add a little green element. And then I might come in with my ocean blue or deep ocean. And let's see what we get. So I'm not trying to go too hard. And then let's do this side. And if I accidentally got rid of my little green with my blue, I'm going to come back in and add just a little more green over the top. And maybe a little caramel. I don't know. All we can see is what we get. See what we get. You never know. Well, that's not going to work. It's only paper. Zoop. That's the beautiful thing of embossing folders, is that you're just using paper. Now, because it's white paper, it doesn't matter what side goes up and what side goes down. And in I go. And then I run it through. Same sandwich. base plate, solo shim, embossing folder, and your cut plate or clear plate, do not cut plate, whatever you have handy for your top plate, and send it on through. It's a pretty simple roll. If you try to do 2 cut plates, you're gonna find that the machine says, nope, I will not take it. And then we wait and see what we get, because you just never know until you open it up. So one side, the other side. Now it's up to you which one you like better. So does that work for you? Or does that work for you? What if we went in, let's do it again. And will your embossing folders stain? They might, it depends upon the ink that you're using and how quickly you get it off or leave it on. Will it harm your embossing folder? No. Can you maybe take some hand sanitizer and get some of this off? Perhaps, but again, it doesn't really matter to me. I'm good with it. Okay, so let's see, what if I were to take my caramel and I was just to go over the entire thing with caramel. A little wet, but I think we'll be okay. I'm just gonna go over the entire folder with caramel. All right, I think we're good. And then I come back with my blue, because you always want to start with your lightest color first. And let's just hit it some places with some blue. Think that's good? And let's hit some places with my blue. Always start with your lightest color. If you put your darkest color down first, it gives your lighter color no place to stay, no place to be, because as you put it on top of the darker color, it will just absorb into that darker color. And then maybe a little bit of green. Right there, and a little bit of green. Right there. And let's see what we get. Now I'm using a dye-based ink. Ooh, got it all over my hands is what I got. I'm using a dye-based ink because I want that ink to absorb into my paper rather quickly. Could you use a pigment-based ink? Absolutely. It just means that you're going to have to let your paper dry a little bit. This is a dye-based ink, and dye-based ink does not dry on a non-porous surface. Could I use a Stays-On ink? No, Stays-On ink is meant to dry on a non-porous surface. And this is plastic, so you know it's non-porous. If I were to put Stays-On on there, it would dry immediately because Stays-On is like a Sharpie or Bic pen, and it's meant to be permanent. So it's perfect for glass and plastic and acetate and vellum and metal. It's perfect for all of those things, but using a Stays-On is not perfect for doing this with an embossing folder. It will dry before you get your paper on there. Okay, so we have here, or we have here. Are you team A or are you team B? I don't know. You have to decide. Decisions, decisions. So these two sides, these two are the same side running through. And these two sides are the same side running through. And this would be front to back. Embossing folders are one of the easiest tools to use in the crafting hobby. They are something that lasts forever. They're usually reasonable in price, and you can change the way they look again and again and again, depending on the technique that you use. So it doesn't take a whole lot of skill to put a piece of paper in there and roll it through your machine. Let's see, I've got this one. Let's see what this one does. And this time, I'm just gonna ink until there's nothing left to ink, and we'll see what happens. So I'm gonna run this one through twice. Can you put two pieces of paper in there at the same time? Maybe. It might be a little tight to roll, but you might be able to get away with it. I'm gonna send them through one at a time. And my Gemini is up top. That means I'm probably gonna get more of the debossed side up top. And let's do, there's one. And let's do a wash, rinse, and repeat and do one more. So I have apples to apples. Apples to apples, and send it on through. All right. So now I've got apples to apples, one more embossed and one more debossed. And what if we just took and really just inked the bejeebies out of them? Yes, the bejeebies, that's a real thing. What if I even just... Well, I don't know that it gets any faster than that. I don't know that it gets any faster of doing something than that. That was pretty quick. And did you see I started down here as opposed to right on it because I don't want it to leave a square imprint. So if I start off and then come in, it doesn't leave that square imprint. I'm trying to avoid that. Let's see what happens when I do it to its counterpart, the reverse side. So, are you team A or are you team B? You have options. You have choices. You have decisions to make. And if I did this on one sheet of paper, if I did this on one sheet of paper, I could decide oh, Stacy. Now, if you wanted to use stays on to do this, that you could do because we're putting it on paper. That's not a problem. So now I decide one piece of paper. I should cut off the rest of it and make it look good. One piece of paper, two looks. You decide. Your choice. Your embossing folder. Your paper. And if I wanted to, I may be stepping too far over. It's always possible. Always possible. But I could come back in with another color. Something soft, just to kind of tone it. Something soft just to tone it if I want, or I can leave it be. This one I'm going to try and go in wherever there's a little bit of white. And just get rid of that white if I don't want the white. But in all of these, I took something that was a simple piece of paper and made them so much more than they were when we started. All the way back to the very beginning. The embossing folders are beautiful. Could you go in and watercolor with them? Yes, because the florals are so big, you absolutely have an opportunity to go in there and watercolor with these because they've got enough space really to lend to watercoloring. They're simply beautiful. And there's option upon option upon option. Let me cut these down. You choose. And if you don't want it to be the full size, because you're wanting to mail this card and not pay extra postage. Take a little bit from here, and maybe just a little bit from here, and maybe just a little bit from here, maybe a little bit more here. You cut it down to what you need it to be. But that's not all we can do with them. What if we decided to use black paper? Black paper. Spectrum Noir has a paper pad of 30 sheets of 6x6 black. This is really beautiful paper, and it's actually, I think, meant to be used with maybe perhaps colored pencils. I mean, colored pencils just look dreamy on it. But I wanted to use it today because it's the perfect size, ready to go, fit in your embossing folder, easy peasy, mac and cheesy. So let's pull. So I've got 1, 2, 3. So far I've used 3. Let's pull. Let's pull this one. And I'm going to do it in black. And maybe I'll run it through in white. I like having apples to show you. It's one thing to, make a great card, but it's something totally different to see the evolution of the product and how it works with different colors, different materials, and having side-by-side comparison, I think, is a really nice way for you to see when I'm teaching. So I'm going to do it, I think we'll do it in the white. I'm going to run it through. I'll go as fast as I can. We don't prep anything in advance for my classes. This is it. What you see is what you get, including any bloopers. And there are bloopers, and I don't edit, so we just go with it. So my Gemini is facing up. And then another sheet of white. And facing up. And then I'm going to do my black. So now I've got 2, kind of one that's more of a debossed, one that's more of an embossed, just because I flipped my paper over. And now let's do in the black. And again, the paper, it's perfect. You've got a 5.5 by 5.5 embossing folder, and you've got a beautiful pack of 6x6 black. You don't have to cut anything. So there's 1. And 2. So we have the debossed side where you can see that the pattern, the floral petals are sitting down deeper and that the outline is raised higher, versus an embossed side where the petals are raised up. So let's put that there, and we can do these super fast. And just so you can see, I'm using my pink pen. Oh, Stacy. Like, why am I getting pink on there? Because I'm using my pink brush. I did not pay attention to my little color coding. Oh. All right, well, my sunflower is going to have a little bit of pink in it. And then maybe we go really, really heavy. Up here. Okay, so 1 versus maybe I even take this and drag it. What do you think? That definitely makes it come up. And then let's drag it here and see what we see. Okay, so there's our 2. They look pretty similar, the deboss and the embossed side. Did I do? No, that's embossed. Oh, that's because I did both of them the same. See, there's the blooper. Like, gosh, they come out pretty close. It's because I did the same. All right, let's drag here. There's our difference. That was funny. You're like, no, not really. But it was, really. I had just said the bloopers stay. And, well, there you go. Now you know they really do. Okay, so now we've got the 2 sides. Big difference. Huge difference. You like this one? You like this one? You like this one? You like this one? You have a choice. You decide. I was like, man, that looks really the same. There's our difference. But let's grab our black paper. And our black paper, you're like, well, how are you going to ink on black paper? For black paper, it's a little different. You can't use a dye-based ink. Dye-based ink is going to look just like this. That's not exciting. Not exciting at all. Dye-based ink is meant to absorb in. So usually we'll use a pigment-based ink. Pigment-based ink sits on top, and most of your metallics are in pigment-based inks. And I could use a pigment-based ink today to get to achieve a look on black paper, but I've decided to use embossing powder. So they're the same inks, black paper, white paper. That's a dramatic difference. because this is a dye-based ink, it's meant to absorb into paper, while a pigment-based ink is meant to sit on top. So if you're looking at a pigment or a metallic ink, a gold, a silver, a copper, a rose gold, and it's in an ink pad, chances are it is a pigment-based ink and it stays wet a lot longer. If this was a pigment-based ink, I'd be able to smudge it. So I don't want to wait for it to dry. I want it to be a little bit quicker. And that means, I'm going to turn one of these upside down. That means for me, if I want to add a little metallic to this, I'm going to use a Versamark pad. That's going to allow me to use embossing powder and heat set so that it changes instantly. I'm not waiting. Now we have from Stampendous part of their October bundles, their flash sale bundles, because Stampendous has closed their doors for now. I know that Fran's going to be doing some work with Spellbinders in the future, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 embossing powders. They usually sell for between $4.99 and $5.99 each. We've got them for $10.99 for the whole thing. So this is like $59.99 or $69.99 or something like that for 12 embossing powders all the way down to $10.99, but only while they're available. We have a few more left. So I thought it would be fun to show you how easy it is to use that when you're using an embossing folder. Now I did not ink up my embossing folder with my Versamark. Could I? I suppose so. Versamark is an embossing medium. It is meant to stay wet long enough so your embossing powder has something to grab onto. So now I'm doing it just like I did the ink pads. And I can send them on through. Let's grab black paper. Let's see what happens if I put 2 sheets through. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Might be a little too thick. Close it up. And now let's bring my machine on over. So this is like 92 pound weight, I believe. Oh, it's 89 pound. So it's almost 90 pound. So it's not quite 80, but not quite 100. It's nicely weighted paper. Super smooth. Let's see if it's too thick. Ooh, see? Okay, let me back it up. So my machine is saying no. See? I don't want to force it. It's saying absolutely not with 2 sheets of paper. Sometimes a sheet of paper can make the difference. Let's see if I take out my solo shim, because now I've removed a little bit, and let's see now if it is, maybe it's too thin now. Oh, see, that goes through too easy. My guess is it didn't do anything. Nope, it sure didn't. So 2 sheets of paper are not my friend. I need to go back to just 1. Put my solo shim back down and let it be. If your machine gives you that, I don't think so, don't force it. Just take out part of the sandwich or remove a portion, and then it's able to go through without a problem. The machine tells you, oh no, it's not the right sandwich. It'll back it out. It won't let you move forward, and you want to stick with that. Although I did get, look at that, just the slightest of. So now I've got Versamark, and you can see it. See how it's got that wetness to it? So let's heat emboss and see what we get. So because I've done both sides, I can throw my embossing powder. So that Versamark is a medium that stays wet long enough for my embossing powder to cling. Is Versamark a glue? No, it is not a glue. I'm going to do this side too. Versamark is not a glue, and you can't just leave this and walk away and think that this is done. It's not. Embossing powder is made up of plastic. It's finely ground plastic that when you heat it at the right temperature transforms from a powder to a solid. Now I have all of this left that I didn't use. I'm just going to put it right back on in. Embossing powders tend to last you a really long time because you're only using enough for it to adhere to that Versamark. Can you use a pigment ink to do the same thing? Yes, a pigment ink would stay wet long enough for you to throw an embossing powder over the top of it. We just like Versamark. It's easy peasy. It's been around forever. And now I'm going to heat set. And you can see, let me zoom in just a little bit, you'll be able to see the powder turn from a powder to a solid. You'll see it brighten up. And I'm using a Sizzix heat tool, so I'm getting right down on it and I'm not burning it. You see it changing? And it's brightening up. Now, how do I know if I got everywhere? Well, you can see the difference between here and there. Obviously, this hasn't had enough heat on it to change it into that solid that I'm looking for. But I am also doing the back side at the same time. So let's change this. And if I touched this, it would wipe off because it's not a glue. You can't touch it until you're done heat setting, because it will wipe right off. And my tool is right down on it, but I'm not burning myself. And now I can turn over and look at, I've already got most of it done. And I'm not doing this. The thing when you heat set is that the heat has to be constant enough for it to change. If you're doing this, if that's how you're embossing, you're adding heat, then taking heat off, then adding heat, then taking heat off. Every time you add the heat and take the heat off, this starts to cool immediately. So when you bring it back, you have to get it hot again. It's like taking a pot of water that you have boiling, and as it boils, you move it off the flame. The boil stops, but you really wanted it to boil, so then you move it back onto the flame so it starts boiling again. But then you decided, no, you didn't want it to boil. Back and forth. That's when heat setting like this, that's exactly what you're doing. You're taking it on and off and on and off, as opposed to just giving it the chance to do what it needs to do. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Now you have to decide which one you like better. And because it's one piece of paper, you're able to do both sides at the same time and then make your decision. Why wouldn't you do both of them at the same time and then make your decision? Nobody's gonna see if this is the side you like and you tape it down to paper, tape it down to your card base or your scrapbook or your mixed media or your altered art. Nobody gonna know this is on the other side. If you tape this down, nobody gonna know what's on the other side. So why wouldn't you do both of them at the same time? Why not? Then you have the choice. But what happens if you're like, I don't know about inking or putting a Versamark on my embossing folder and sending it through. I'm not sure. I give up a little control with that. Yes, you do. When you put it on here, you give up the control because you don't know where you have it a little heavier, where you have it a little lighter. Versamark is water soluble. It's going to come right off that. I might use that one again. So I still have these two that I haven't done anything with. What if I just take the Versamark and do it after I've done the embossing? Can I do that? I can. What if I just run it afterwards and then I feel like I've got a little bit more control over it? Well, you can. Now it's just like I'm inking it, right? This is no different than what I did earlier with the inks. No different at all. Okay, so there's one. And here's two. Are my results going to be similar? They might be. But now I can clearly see where I've put it and where I haven't, and if I need a little bit more somewhere. I'm not so much leaving it up to the fate of the embossing folder. Up to you. I'm more of a fly-by-my-seat kind of girl. I like to put it on the embossing folder, but then I also like to do it this way. But you do have options. Let's emboss and see what happens. Should we do these in, I don't know what color this is. I'm going to set these aside for just a second. They're going to stay wet long enough. I just want to see what color this is. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if it's a metallic. It looks like a metallic, but since they're not labeled, we've got the SKU numbers, but I don't have the names. To get them to you for that price, they're coming in the jar, and that's what you get. You'll swatch them out when you get them. It is a gold. It's kind of a greeny gold as opposed to a bright, kind of an old gold as opposed to a bright gold. How about we do that now that I know what color it is? Okay, let's bring these back and we'll do that color because I had no idea what color it was. Kind of an old gold. I wonder if that's the name of it, old gold or Aztec gold or something like that. So my embossing powder. And anywhere I see kind of a hard line, I just get rid of it. A little bit of a tap. All right, I'm going to go with that. And let's do this one. And again, I'm a dumper. So I'm just going to let it work its way all the way down, and anywhere there's Versamark, oh yeah, it's going to adhere. Think I'm okay? Well, I don't know what we're going to get until we get it. The good news is it's only black paper. And pour it all back in my jar. There's my jar. And it's like I used almost nothing. So let's see what we get. As I see it turning, that's when I'm moving my heat tool. Kind of a greeny gold. Kind of a greeny gold. And then let's do this one and see what we get here. Okay, just about done. And I want to look and make sure that I don't have any dull spots. Dull spots will tell you where you still need to heat, but that is quite a difference in look. And then I can trim it out, and it dries the minute it's cool, it's ready to go. You could fussy cut the whole thing out. It's all about what works best for you, and more importantly, what your project is asking for. And you can trim it down to whatever size you want it to be. So however you get that Versamark on, however it is you get it done, it adds such an element when you're using black paper. But what if we took, let's try this one. What if we took white paper? And I sent this one on through. This is the last one. We haven't done this one yet. And then I'm going to move on to the dies, because the dies you can only get here. These you can find at HSN, and I want to be very honest with you that you can find them at HSN. We're going to do our very best to meet or beat their price, and we're going to do something with this black paper. That the black paper is $12.99 because it's meant for, gosh, it really is beautiful paper that you can then go in there and color on with your water, with your colored markers, or if you have some opaque pens. Beautiful paper. I think we're going to find a way to make that, incorporate that in the bundle with the embossing folders to really make it a huge value for you. Okay, so a little shim down, down, down. And again, I think I'm going to do it twice just because I like apples to apples. And then we're going to start die cutting. Oh, some of my pink came off. Thought, what if I'll keep that one, but what if I Versamark this one up? Hello, Versamark. What if I Versamark this one up? Both sides. Both sides. And then I send it on through. And then my top plate. Send it on through. So now I've got Versamark on both sides on this one. And a little pink. Okay. Put that one to the side and let's do it one more time. Let me Versamark it up one more time. And let's send it on through. And then we can go apples to apples. So can you see all the different ways embossing folders can enhance your creativity? I mean, and I'm just doing very little with them. There's so much more. Do you have a gel plate? Oh, you can press your embossing folder into your gel plate and transfer that. And I mean, there's just tons to be done with them. And they really are one of the most affordable tools out there. Okay. So now I've got two of them, and let's take maybe my silver. There's a silver in here, so let's try the silver. And I'm going to do both sides. I'm just going to let it walk itself on down. Let gravity do the work. now let's do the back side. You're like, wow, she really dumps a lot. I do, I'm a dumper because I can put it back. So I'm not worried about wasting it. I just want to get my really good all over coverage. Okay, there's one. I'm going to leave that one alone. I'm going to heat set this one and then we'll do that one because I don't want to accidentally get some of my... Okay, so let's put my embossing powder away. Look at even with all of that, there's still some left in the jar. So as I mentioned, Stampendous they didn't lose their lease. Their rent got raised so high and Fran decided it was time to take a semi-retirement. And I know she's going to be doing some stuff with Spellbinders. I think you'll only be able to get it at Spellbinders. You won't be able to find her product here, but while we've got some of her closeout stuff or the stuff that absolutely had to go, now's the time to get it. So I'm just going to heat set. And with any luck, it's doing the back side too. Oh, it is doing the back side. So that side should be done. And now let's see what we've got on the back. Okay. It still looks a little dull there. I'm going to heat that really quickly and just make sure that that turns. Any place I see a little dull, where it's not quite as shiny as the other side, or where it's not quite as shiny all the way around. What is that? That looks pretty okay, right? Whatever isn't heat set is going to wipe off. So maybe I will just do one side. All right, let's grab an ink and a baby wipe. Baby wipe. What do you think? Right? Pretty cool, pretty easy. The other side, this is why I wanted to do two. That way I don't have to do front and back and show you front and back. So that embossing powder, now that it's more of a solid, now that it's more of a plastic, kind of resists the ink. kind of stays where the paper is, but not necessarily where the embossing powder is. I'm wiping it off where the embossing powder is. So do we like that? Or do we like that? Choice is yours. This time we put down tons. We put down the embossing powder first, and that ink just fills in all the nooks and crannies so beautifully. So beautifully. All right, let's do this one in gold. And my Versamark is still wet. It's been sitting there for a little while, but my embossing powder is still holding. And my other side. All right, well, I've dumped out almost my entire bottle, but let's heat set. So I need to put all of this back in. And look at, I'm back up to full. So let's heat set this one really quick, and then I'll ink it, and then we're gonna move over to the dies. And as I see it turn, I know to move my heat tool. And I'm holding it so that the heat is going all the way through and starting to emboss this side. So I'm giving that heat the opportunity to go through my paper and heat the other side at the same time. Okay, I think that looks pretty. Let's go and do what's left on this side. Nope, got a few little dark spots there. Now I look at it, do I see any dark spots? If I do, I need to go back. Do I see any dark spots? No. All right, how about we go with maybe the blue? How dark do you think that green is? Baby wipe. kind of wipe it down just a little bit. I don't want to take all my green off, although I love it with the green. I think the green was a good choice. And then this side. And wherever the paper is and not the embossing powder, that green is going to just adhere and sink into the paper and absorb into the paper. And a baby wipe. And then you decide. So same, different. What do you like better? You have options by just flipping your paper, and that embossing powder just adds that sparkle and that metallic underneath, and then you throw a color right on top and you're done. It's that simple. We have done so much with embossing folders. I mean, so much. Easy inking, embossing, coloring, just using our blending brushes, going straight over the top. You choose. These are affordable. They give you many different techniques to use with them. Do you need something very, very soft and simple, just very soft and simple? Or do you need something with a little pizzazz, a little pow to it? Maybe you have a friend who's more soft and simple, and maybe you have a friend who's more pizzazz, more pow. Isn't it nice to know that you can do it all with the same folder just based off of what technique you use? Maybe you do need bam. Or maybe you need bam. Maybe you like to blend your colors. So the embossing folders are at an amazing value. I'm sure of it. What that amazing value is, I'm not 100% sure yet, but I'm sure it's gonna be great. Now let's move on to the dies. Okay, the dies. So they have got several different sets out that are kind of a handwritten script. You get 3 sentiments in each set. This one has with sympathy, thinking of you, so very sorry. Thank you with thanks, special thanks. And they're just a lovely font, and getting 3 different sentiments is kind of nice. Congratulations, time to celebrate, best wishes, happy birthday, birthday wishes, party time, true friend, special friend, forever friend, love that one, with love, love you lots, hugs and kisses. So these are brand new. These are brand new, just new to the market. You can't get them anywhere else, just at SMS. Yes, they're going to be on sale. Yes, there's going to be an I want it all. And yes, they're value price. They're a really great affordable option, being that you've got 3 sentiments in there. Let's take out this one. All right, so first things first, sizing. Nope, what you see here is not what you get. They are bigger than what's on the packaging. Bigger, not even close. True friend. True friend. True friend is right there. There's what the packaging is. Here's what the actual die is. it extends past the packaging. Okay, they cut like a dream, easy peasy mac and cheesy. Let's grab a piece of maybe black. And here. Now this is where you have the opportunity to decide if you want to use your regular cut plates. Here's my do not cut. And the one I was working with today. So do you want to use your regular cut plates, your full size, and put them down and send it through? You can. You can also use the size that comes in the multi-set. So Sizzix came out with this pack. It has 3 different sizes of plates in it. It has, you get one of this size, one of this size, and one full size plate. So one like this. And they brought these out because of the switch machine. The switch machine plates are really, really big. And when you're using dies that are really small in a platform or a plate that's really big, it makes it warp faster because there's no structure around the outside of this to keep the plate flat. I've got structure here, but not here. There's nothing there. The bigger the die I have, the better it's going to work with this size cutting platform because it's taking up the platform and it will keep it from warping. The smaller size die you use with larger plates, that means it's going to warp faster. And they really did bring these out for the switch machine. But do you have to use them for the switch machine? No, the same concept works here. You can take them and use them on your basic machine. And because now I have less plate, less clear plate, just this size, it's going to keep from warping more. This would warp faster than this because my die is more true to that size. Now I gotta tell you, I don't understand and I'm not gonna ask. They came in a set, like I said, that comes like this. And I know, so you've got the 3, and I know oodles of people have said you use this one and then you put this one on top and feed it through. Put this one on top and feed it through. So I'm going to tell you the only issue I have with that is it doesn't feed into the machine or your roller at the same time. And what can happen is once that top plate starts to hit the roller will start pushing it back like this. Absolutely starts pushing it back. So you can certainly try to use a larger cut plate on the bottom and a smaller one on top. Just know that you have the opportunity for it to hit the roller. And because it's not necessarily hitting it at the same time and it's not the same width, the roller goes, oh, I don't like it. And it starts to push the plate back. So we sell them in a 2-pack where you get 2 full sets of everything. And that way, if you want to roll it through, if you have a sidekick and you want to roll this through your sidekick, not a problem. And we just take the 2 plates that work together because you get 2 sets, send them through. Of course, I tweaked it. Send it through and let it be. They're the same size. They're going to hit the roller at the same time. And we just let it be. It's your decision, but it's going to save you on plates. If you're using the right size plate for the right size die, you're going to find that you go through plates far less often. I didn't use a precision base plate. They're thin. But they come out really good. I mean, they come out really good. Right? They're thin. But they come out beautifully. And each set has 3 coordinating sentiments. Like I said, this one is true friend, special friend, forever friends. Here I've got thank you, with thanks, special thanks. Just know that they are bigger than what is shown on the packaging. This one is with thanks. So there it is on the packaging, but here's the die. So it's a little bit bigger. Let's take this one and put this one maybe right there so I don't lose it. And let's cut with thanks. And let's trim this guy on down a little bit. And let's get a piece of paper and do my with thanks. So this time I'm gonna do it kind of at the top of my paper. That way I don't waste. Close them up. And put it on through. I am using my Solo Shim because this is a wafer style die. It's a thin die. And because they're the same size, they're the same width, they just go through easy peasy. I know plates are a big thing for people, and we use our plates until there's really not much more to when Scotty's saying I've given her all she's got is when we generally get rid of them. Let me keep that because I can use that. And then pop it out. And bam. Now, could you put Stacy tape down to get these out as a sticker? I'm going to tell you, because they're so thin, it's a little difficult. And there's my with thanks. They're beautiful. They really are just elegant and beautiful. Let's chop this one down just a little bit. And now my with thanks is a little bit too long. So on my 5.5 by 5.5, or maybe just a hair bit smaller, my with thanks fits just beautifully. It's like perfect. But if I want to do a slightly smaller card, come on, there we go. Slightly smaller card. It's going to be too big. Not a problem. They've given you a perfect place to snip. They've given you a perfect place to snip. Right there. Perfect place. Snip them into 2. And zoop. Now I have with thanks that will fit on my card. Easy done. Thanks. However you want to put it, you've just snipped them into two. Makes it easy to do. But maybe you don't want them in black. Maybe you want them to be a little bit more than they are. Put these up there so I don't lose them. What if I took my black paper and this time I took my Versamark on my black scrap piece of paper. And I went Versamark, 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 Versamark. And I did that. And then I took an embossing powder. What if I took my blue? So what scrap paper do you have? Put it back in. And let's heat set. The whole thing, just like that. I'm not gonna die cut it first. I'm just gonna heat set. And I'm gonna watch it change colors. And there I go. Little black is coming through. If I did it on white, dropped my piece of paper. Coming back up. There we go. Gosh, I could have done it on some of the scraps that I was throwing away as I cut them off the sides. And I Versamark, 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 Versamark. And we'll use the same blue, just so you can see the difference. And embossing powder. So all that scrap paper that you've got where you just got little snippets of things, embossing powder is a great way to use it up. And let's heat set. Put my finger in it, can you see? Touched it with my finger right there. And I can see it walking along, and I can see the line moving as it heat sets. Can you see that line right there? Can you see that line? If I can get the camera close enough. But I can literally see a line going across as it's setting. Okay, and how long to dry? Ooh, I see one little place I think I missed. How long does it take to dry? As long as it takes for the paper to cool. Once the paper's cool, the embossing powder has set. So on black, on white, two totally different looks, right? Let's go ahead and let's die cut. So I'm going to kind of keep it towards the top of my paper so that I can use the rest of it. I don't waste it. Get my platform completely on. I'm using the smaller plates. All I need to do is make sure they're sandwiched. That looks good. And send it through. And it's going to grab both of those plates at the same time because they're the same width. And bring it on back. I still have all of that to use. Let's pop it out. And it cut through that embossing powder just fine. Now some of you may be asking, why didn't you just cut it first, Stacy, and then hit it with the Versamark and emboss it? Oh yeah, no, I can't. I just can't. This is so fine and so thin that to die cut it and then hit it and then throw the embossing powder off and then dust it off and then heat set, I'll take a scrap piece of paper all day long. I'll save this, I'll use this again. Nope, can't do it, cannot do it. What do we got? Too much blue. Thank you. And again, they've given you a place that if you need to separate them, a simple little, just a little splice at the with thanks will move them along. Okay, let's put that there. Now, maybe you're not crazy about the black speckle. Maybe you like the black speckle. Let's see if I can get a die. Here's thank you. If I get thank you on there, will I also get one more or is it too thin? I think I'll be able to get two out of here. I'm going to try. So I'm going to do one in the black speckle just as it is. So put it right on my, and I remember I'm using the smaller plates. And you get, we sell them in a 2-pack. I guess we can sell them in single packs now too. Originally, when they first came out, we did it as a double because I thought I do think you need 2 of them. But I think maybe we'll offer them as a single pack too for those of you who already have the 2-pack and just want one more. Let's see, I want to get it as close to the top as I can without, and my other plate right on top. Sandwich down and send through. And there's no warpage because that die fits those plates better than using the bigger size. Send it on back. It really doesn't need it, but, and move it on over. And out it comes. And let's get it on out. Find a good point. I wish they had given me a few more little holes. Oh, yep. A few more little holes would have been nice. I tore this one because it's really thin. Nope, tore it. Come on out, you come. So I've got part of it. I've got the U right there. And I've got the thank right here. So when I pulled it, I tore it because it's super thin. So I separated them when I pulled it, and my U also came off. But am I going to trash it? Heavens no, we're still going to use it. Absolutely. All I have to do is use it with some sticky sheets. So even though it's in pieces, all I need to use is some sticky sheets, and we'll just put it right back together again, like it never happened. Let's trim. Oh, I've got this one right here. So sticky sheets are an adhesive sheet of dots that have hundreds and thousands of little dots on them. One side has dots and it's sticky, and one side doesn't. It's perfect for finicky little things like this. Little finicky things. In fact, I think I'm going to chop that off right there. Little finicky, dainty, delicate, intricate dies like this. Because all I have to do is put it down, and I'm going to get rid of some of that on the U and get rid of some of that. All I have to do is put them down on my sticky dots. And they become adhesive. Those little tiny dots transfer. So that even though I tore that little thank you, I can still use it. So now there's hundreds of little sticky dots everywhere on the back of here. And I can put thank. And then I can grab my Y and O and put it down. And then grab that U that accidentally tore off. And with nobody the wiser, it goes on and it sticks. You can move them around for a little while, but then they become more permanent. So let me do that. And I think I might, maybe I should double it up. What if you didn't want so much black? I don't know if I can get another one on here. Let's see. What if you don't want so much black? Is that my thank you? Can I get this one on there? This is with thanks. What if I don't want so much black coming through it? What do I do? Get out my Versamark again. Versamark, 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 Versamark. Bring over my little, and let's put some more blue on it. We're going to do a double embossing. You could do a triple embossing. You don't want as much black to come through, then you just go over the top of it and get rid of some of that black. If twice doesn't work, then you do it 3 times. Every time you add a layer of embossing powder, it adds another layer of color on top. So put that back in. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is wipe it off, since I can't use this anyway. That way you can see what the original color looked like. There we go. That's good. So now I've got my embossing powder down, and I've just taken off a little bit off the top, just so you can see what the original color was. Let's zoom in just a little bit. Zoom, 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 zoom. And let's heat set. And now look at the difference. The first one we did is up here. The second one is down there. There's a big difference in the color. If I needed to, I could put another set or another coat down. Let's see if we can get it to die cut. Pop some of these out. Now, the thicker you make that embossing powder, you may eventually need a precision base plate to get it out to cut all the way through, because we're adding a coat of plastic on top of a coat of plastic on top of a coat of plastic. Nope, that's not going to work. Ha ha. But I think that might work. I think I got it. It's as close as can be. All we can do is give it a whirl and see what happens, right? So if you're trying to add a little panache to your sentiments, just grab some paper, throw some embossing powder down, heat set, just throw the Versamark right on top of that paper. Heat set. It's a little easier to do it that way, I find, than to try and work with a very small little die cut to then add your Versamark, add your embossing powder. Let's see if I can get it out. Be a little gentler than I was last time. Looks like slow and steady wins the race on this one. So I've got 2 coats of embossing powder. Ooh, yes. Yes, 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 yes. And there it is. And now you see the black even less. Totally up to you how you want it. Ooh, I think it would look good here. See, I think that would look great. And all I did was take my Versamark straight to my paper. Could you use Stacy tape if you didn't want to use Versamark? You could take your paper and put some Stacy tape down and then throw your embossing powder down and heat set, because Stacy tape is heat resistant. I think just using the Versamark is fast and simple. It works, it gets the job done. And it allows you to add that high gloss finish. And whatever color you want, if you've got the embossing powder, you could take your cardstock and put your Versamark down on your cardstock, and then put clear embossing powder down. That way when you pull your words out, they've got that embossed look with that gloss finish to them. The choices are really up to you, but the words are beautiful and they're delicate. And the best way to get them down without question, do we like it on this one? I actually think I like it on that one. The best way to get them down without question is using sticky dots. Finicky little things. Yes, dots. Press. Wherever you don't see the word, all those sticky dots are going to stay on the sheet. So sticky dots last a really long time. You can use them for your large intricate dies, little tiny pieces of things. And again, you could die cut this out first out of black. I could have die cut it out of black and then put my Versamark and then my embossing powder and then kind of held it while I embossed it. But to me, that's a lot of work. It's just easier to emboss my paper, die cut, sticky dot, call it done. I think there's a little fallout in that K. Can you? You know what? I'm not going to get it. We're going to let it be. With thanks. And the embossing powders, holy smokes. You're working for $10.99, you're getting every color under the rainbow. Every color under the rainbow. With thanks. Do you want to shadow them a little bit? Can you shadow these? Absolutely. So you got all the colors in the rainbow here. Let's find that with thanks again. Nope, that's thank you. Here's with thanks. Okay, let me pop out some of the little pieces. Can you shadow them? Like, well, what's a shadow? What if I wanted it to stand out just a little bit more? Take a piece of black paper. Look at, I didn't use this one up. I'm gonna come back and cut this off. Will it fit? You bet. Fit this way. Well, it's a 6x6. It should fit either way, right, Stacy? Hello. So let's cut that off. Let's send it back through. Fonts are such an important thing because it really does set the tone for when you've made something. You can go back and look at your dies from 20 years ago when we were using Lollipop and Shadow Box and Fun Serif from Sizzix. And now look at the evolution of dies and now what they're able to achieve in the way of a font for your sentiments. It's come such a long way. I still have Lollipop and Shadow Box and Fun Serif. I do, but these are more modern, they're more current, they're more updated, and the font is so pretty that it's gonna last. It's something that's timeless that you can go back to again and again and again. I use my Lollipop and my Shadow Box when I'm doing something for the kids. But if you want something maybe a little more grown up, then you look at the newer fonts that are coming out, the newer designs that are coming out, and they've made them so affordable. And see, look at how easy peasy it is out of paper. I mean, it just releases like butter. And then you can take, and with a little bit of sticky dots on them, you will make your own shadow for your word so that it bolds out just a little bit more. Need a little bit of sticky dots on the blue. Line it up where you want your shadow to be, and then you'd sticky dot the whole thing down together. So just a little bit of a shadow coming off of it. I like the idea of using them with the embossing powder because it gives you that extra something. It gives you that extra little spark of creativity. It gives you that little extra gloss, that little extra pop. And I do like shadowing them because if you need them to stand out just a little bit more against something. Let's see if I can get these two if I can get them to. So I'm going to take this one first and put my sticky dots down. And then I've got my with thanks here. And I just think that that little K has a, no, it doesn't. Okay, so I'm just going to let it be. Pick them up. And now I'm going to line them up with just a little bit of an offset. Just want a little bit of an offset. Just so I can see that it's shadowed. Trying to do this with wet glue would be hard. These are so fine. That would definitely be more of a challenge than I personally am willing to take. But with sticky dots, I can get it done reasonably quick and efficiently. Yay! So maybe this, no, let's trim this one down just a little bit. But now that I look at it, I think I'm right. Not the right color. Not the right color. I should have gone with my first choice. Now you can see the shadow that helps define the words. That shadow becomes important when you're doing a tone on tone to really help define the words. And then how do I get it down again? Well, now that those are stuck together, then I take the whole thing and put it down and stick them together. Could I add another shadow to it? Sure, I could add one more shadow to it to thicken those letters up even more. You'll find with something this small that sticky dots are your friend. I think I'm gonna put it right there. I might even trim this down just a little bit. And now my with thanks are there. So several different sentiment sets. brand new to the market. You're like the first ones to be seeing it unless it's been over in the UK, and it's possible. They get everything first because, well, Crafters Companion is a UK-based company. So, but several different sentiments. Thank you, with thanks, special thanks, true friend, special friend, forever friend, with sympathy, thinking of you, so sorry. So very sorry. You could cut the very out and just have so sorry. I mean, you can cut these words and splice them to do what you need them to do. I mean, you saw me put them together after I had torn them. Congratulations, time to celebrate, best wishes. All of these are meant to be used again and again and again. They're a tool in your crafty arsenal, just like you saw me put this one back together again. I did, I put that one back together again. They're a tool to be used in your crafty arsenal again and again because they're so useful. They have more than one application, and you can use them in so many different ways, whether you just cut them out of plain paper and put it down. I could have just done thanks. I could have just done thanks. Been done. Finished. That works too, right? So we've done so much today. We've used embossing folders in ways you may not have thought of. I love going ahead and doing a heat embossing on an embossing folder and then coming back and inking. I think it looks magnificent. I love it, and it makes my heart happy. I like using black paper and Versamark and embossing powders to change the look of an embossing powder or an embossing folder, and allowing you to use black paper. You don't always get to use black paper, yet we all seem to have oodles of it, right? So we did look at how beautiful and how soft is that. Where'd that thanks go? It was just thanks. Oh my gosh, if you have to make thank you cards from a bridal shower or a wedding, there's your cards. All I did was ink that. You watched me ink it, and thanks. Mount it on and send out your cards, your thank you cards. It's stunning. So we did a lot today playing with the embossing. Gosh, we did embossing folders and embossing powder. So we did embossing folders and heat embossing, but then we also played with all their new words. And again, just to be fair, you can get the embossing folders at HSN. They are on sale right now. I'm going to try and do a better deal than they can. I'll let you know if I'm able to do it. And sometimes you never know. We're not big like HSN, so I don't get to negotiate always at the same level. I mean, obviously not. The bigger the company you are, the more negotiating you get to do. I try not to take no for an answer. Sometimes I don't have a choice, but I know Crafters Companion is all about trying to support independent retailers. They've got Kimberly there. I'm going to have to find a name for Kimberly. And she's really about the independent retailer. Look at with sympathy. Just a pretty card and done. And this, I just rubbed the ink right over the top of it. Yay! All right, you guys. So what do we have on sale for you today? Oodles. So I'm gonna figure out, somehow I'm gonna work this into the bundle so that it comes part of the bundle. It's $12.99 regular. We'll put it on sale as well as open stock, just in case you want the 6x6 paper, because it fits inside the embossing folders like a dream. We also have the Stampendous flash sale embossing powders. We have some left from October. When these are gone, they're gone. They are about between $4.99 and $5.99 per jar. You're going to get all of it for $10.99. All of it, $10.99. The only inks I used today were my last 4 inks for 2022. These are quarter number Q4 inks for Hero Arts. You'll only find them here at Scrapbooking Made Simple. It was an exclusive deal that we did for 2022. And I don't know if it'll go forward at 2023. I think at some point they're going to release them to all retailers, which is fine. That's what we agreed to. And then I have got each of the sentiment sets will have open stock, but of course we'll have an I Want It All bundle of the sentiment sets. And then the embossing folders will have an I Want It All, and somehow I'm going to get this pad in there so it goes together. Somehow I'm going to do that. But if there's just one or two that you love, then I'll have them open stock for you as well. I can't do an I Want It All here, the total thing. I can't, because we don't have as many embossing folders as we do here. Obviously, these went to HSN already. We kind of have what's left, and we're grateful to have what's left. And I'm going to see if I can do a Holy Smokes Artichokes price for you. And then last but not least, we have, I always sell them in two. I'll see if we have time. If we have time, I'll do a single and a double. We always have the double because I think you need two. That way you get two of each size like I was using. I was using this one here and this one here because those are the two matches. And it really does save on the warpage of your plates. So we've got that for you today. And of course, sticky dots and everything else. All right, let's do samples, shall we? Let's do samples. Let me go down and up and push that out of the way and maybe zoom in a little. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. And let's do samples. All right. Isn't that dreamy? Beautiful. So you've got the With Love. You've got the embossing folder on a larger card. So this is a 5x7. And then look at this. Right? So fussy cut out. Fussy cut this out. And you've got True Friend down at the bottom. The nice thing is they're so big, the florals, you can get away with fussy cutting them out. There's no matching die. But it's really not fussy cutting when they're this big. Best wishes. Look at how pretty is that? So this is a different font, but the embossing folder is there. Just very subtle, very subtle. And here we use the font, thank you, and we didn't use an embossing folder at all. We just used some pretty pattern paper. Fussy cut out the rose. Special Friend, I bent it, sorry. Special Friend down at the bottom. Just inked. Big card, like UK size card. It's gotta be 8x8. Fussy cut it out. You've got Thinking of You down below. Big card, UK card. I'm going to hand you this card and not mail you this card size card. And then I showed you these in the beginning. So pretty. That is so beautiful. The detail is just, the pictures, I guarantee you, do not do them justice. It's probably one of the first things everybody says when they come in and they see the samples live. Wow, the pictures, the camera just doesn't do them justice. And it really doesn't. So I showed you these three in the very beginning. That's luster wax from Sizzix. And let's do these. And here again, just the font. Not using an embossing folder at all. Pretty paper, just the font. Thank you. Done. Love you lots. Little dazzle diamonds in there, little stickers. You get it with Find It. I think we have these with Gigi. We have those. Here's another one using a font, another font that we must have somewhere. Hello. Again, just using the font and pretty paper, no embossing folder at all. Stunning, stunning overachiever right there. Beautiful. Don't know who made this one, but love it. Beautiful. Look at how pretty is that. So just coloring in with alcohol marker on some metallic paper and just leaving it soft and simple. Oh my goodness. So here's your watercoloring. Yeah. Yes, please. That's beautiful. And here we have Party Time. And then one more with the hello. I'm gonna have to find out where that hello came from. And last but not least, I have a layout. Claire used 2 pieces of paper to do this. So the little here and here came off the borders. The butterflies were fussy cut out of the paper. You've got True Friend and Special Friend and Forever Friend. So that whole set is represented on this layout. And she just used 2 pieces of paper to get it done. She used every little bit about it. Fussy cut out the butterflies, took the borders off the bottom where the label usually is. The beautiful came out of it. So a layout. All right, you guys, it is me, Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com, letting you know that the words, the Crafter's Companion words that you saw are exclusive here. We've got them first. But the embossing folders are at HSN. So we will leave it to you. If you love, love, love them, there's a reason for all of us to be out there. Whether you shop with Scrapbooking Made Simple or you shop with HSN or you shop with one of the big mass stores like Michael's or Hobby Lobby or one of the supersized online stores. There's 2 of them and they're supersized. There's a reason for everybody, and you shop where you're most comfortable and what makes your heart happy. So if you want to visit HSN to see what their pricing is on them, by all means, then you can come back here and see if I was able to do a better deal. Fingers crossed. But as long as you keep crafting, then no matter what type of company we are, from the smallest little independent where it literally is the husband and wife running the show every day, to a super big Michael's, there's room for all of us. So you go where you feel best. And hopefully I was able to teach you something to keep you feeling creative. That's the most important thing. So as long as you stay creative, we all, whether big or teeny tiny small, we all get to stay in business. All right, it is me, Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. I will see you all next week. Bye, everybody.